comes with a 24-inch Baco blade and an optional made-in-Canada buck saw.
I think this is a great setup, a kind of old-school hedge trimmer for anyone that just wants to be shearing some grass.
The woodworkers continue to use these hand-powered variants of the drill in their work.
It is a metal to join two pieces of material together.
This is a real basic beginner slide rule. This one has 4 basic scales on it.
Pencil sharpeners, because I love pencils and I use them. Gotta have it because I love it.
Go, like I just showed you, it cuts really nice compared to a regular gas mower, and it's just as easy to push.
Picture a Saturday morning in 1965. The garage door is open, the smell of fresh-cut grass drifts through the neighborhood, and nearly every man on the block is working with tools that most Americans under 40 would barely recognize today. A manual, push-reel mower clicks across the lawn. A timing light flashes beneath the hood of a family sedan. Inside the house, a wall-mounted pencil sharpener waits beside the telephone, while a slide rule helps solve problems long before pocket calculators existed. Some of these tools built homes. Others repaired cars, sharpened blades, developed films, or kept entire workshops running. Nearly all have been replaced by faster, cleaner, and easier technology. Join us as we look back at 25 forgotten tools from the 1960s every American man owned. Long before the roar of gasoline engines filled suburban neighborhoods, the manual reel lawn mower ruled America's front yards.
It is easy to use, super eco-friendly, no gas, no electricity. All you need is the power of your 2 feet.
Its popularity exploded after World War II as millions of families moved into new suburban homes with neatly trimmed lawns. Nearly every homeowner owned one because it was affordable, reliable, and required no fuel. By the late 60s, powered mowers began taking over, making lawn care faster and easier. Even so, many Americans still remember the steady clicking sound of those spinning blades on a summer morning, echoing across quiet neighborhood streets. Back when many Americans repaired their own cars, a timing light kit was a prized possession in the garage. Weekend mechanics used it to adjust ignition timing and fine-tune distributor points, helping engines run smoothly and efficiently.
The engine's idle, and by pointing our timing light down here at the harmonic balancer, your harmonic balancer should have graduations on it.
During the 60s, keeping a family car on the road often depended on skills learned at home rather than at a repair shop. As electronic ignition systems arrived in later decades, the process became far less hands-on. For many men, though, nothing matched the satisfaction of tuning an engine and hearing it run perfectly afterward. Mounted on walls in kitchens, schools, offices, and workshops, the hand-crank pencil sharpener was once an everyday sight.
All it takes is a pencil sharpener. Just stick the dowel into the pencil sharpener, give it 2 cranks.
Most were built from heavy cast metal and designed to survive decades of constant use. Before disposable supplies became common, pencils were sharpened repeatedly throughout the day, making these machines essential tools. Over time, inexpensive plastic sharpeners and mechanical pencils pushed them aside. Yet many people can still remember turning the crank and hearing that familiar grinding sound, followed by the sight of perfectly curled wood shavings collecting in the tray below.
See it work. Here we go. Shove a pencil in. It grinds until it gets to the sharp point, and there it goes.
Metal edges scraped graphite into perfect points in kitchens and classrooms everywhere. In universities, another tool was shaping something far more complex than a pencil. Before pocket calculators appeared in shirt pockets across America, the slide rule was the tool that helped engineers, scientists, students, and architects solve complex mathematical problems. Its roots stretched back centuries, but it reached peak popularity during the 50s and 60s when technical education was booming.
The slide rule multiplies, divides, and performs more complicated calculations by measuring distance between numbers on graduated scale.
Learning to use one required practice, making it a respected symbol of knowledge and skill. College engineering students carried slide rules almost like a badge of honor. Then, in the early 70s, affordable electronic calculators arrived and changed everything virtually overnight. Calculations that once took several careful steps could suddenly be completed with the press of a button. Today, many younger Americans would struggle to identify one.
Slide rules are actually still quite handy tools. They use logarithms to calculate results very quickly.
Yet, for an entire generation, the slide rule represented intelligence, ambition, and the technological confidence of the space age. Few hand tools connected a craftsman to his work quite like the brace and bit. Descended from woodworking tools used for centuries, it remained a common sight in American workshops well into the 1960s. The tool used a hand-cranked brace to turn interchangeable drill bits, creating clean holes in wood without electricity.
It's an absolutely satisfying bit of kit. You don't have to push too hard, but you've got to keep your firm pressure on.
Homeowners, carpenters, and hobbyists relied on it for everything from furniture repairs to building projects. It demanded patience and steady hands, but rewarded users with remarkable control. As electric drills became cheaper and more powerful, the brace and bit slowly disappeared from everyday use. Later, cordless drills completed the takeover. Even so, many woodworkers still admire the tool's simplicity. It reminds them of a time when craftsmanship depended more on skill and effort than on batteries and motors. A manual grease gun was once as common in a garage as a wrench or screwdriver. Farmers, mechanics, and homeowners used them to force grease into fittings on tractors, automobiles, trailers, and countless pieces of machinery.
You clip it onto your grease zerk, make sure it's hooked on there, and give her some pumps. See if she's working.
Proper lubrication prevented wear, reduced friction, and helped expensive equipment last for years. During the 60s, nearly every farm and workshop kept one close at hand. Using it could be messy work, with grease often ending up on hands, clothing, and tools. Yet there was satisfaction in knowing a machine had been properly maintained. As modern vehicles adopted sealed bearings and components that required less servicing, grease guns became less essential. Still, older Americans often remember the ritual fondly. It was a simple task that reflected pride in ownership and respect for machinery.
I think it's a fantastic product. It works really well, and it's a one-hand thing. It's not trying to hold 10,000 pounds of pressure on a grease zerk. That
grease kept machines alive in farms and driveways across America. Inside repair shops, another tool was diagnosing a very different kind of mechanical heartbeat. When television and radio ownership exploded across America, vacuum tube testers became indispensable tools. Most electronic devices of the era depended on vacuum tubes, and a single failed tube could leave a television screen dark or radio silent. Tube testers allowed owners and repair technicians to quickly identify faulty components.
Here right now, so that's a good thing. Let's go back to 1 and take a look at the emissions. Emissions actually look pretty good, so that's a good thing here.
Many drugstores even featured self-service testing stations where customers could check tubes themselves before buying replacements. Repair shops relied on them daily, and some hobbyists kept one at home. The arrival of solid-state transistors during the 60s and 70s gradually made vacuum tubes obsolete. As electronics became more reliable, the need for tube testing disappeared. Today, these machines serve as reminders of a culture that valued repair over replacement, when fixing a device was often easier than throwing it away. Named for its resemblance to a kitchen egg beater, this lightweight hand drill offered a practical way to bore holes without electricity. The design became popular with carpenters, hobbyists, and homeowners who needed precision more than raw power. By turning a side crank, users could drill surprisingly accurate holes in wood and other materials. During the 60s, many workshops still kept one nearby, especially for delicate jobs where large electric drills felt awkward. Early power drills were often bulky and difficult to control, giving the egg beater drill an advantage in certain tasks.
I'm holding it straight up and down as well as I can, driving it through, cranking it on. We're making our hole.
As electric tools improved and prices dropped, demand steadily declined. Eventually, cordless drills made hand-powered versions seem outdated. Even today, collectors and craftsmen admire the tool's elegant mechanical design, proving that simplicity can sometimes outperform complexity. Across rural America, few jobs were more common than building fences, and few tools were more important than the post-hole auger. This manually operated device used large spiral blades to dig deep, narrow holes for fence posts, mailboxes, and farm structures. The work often required 2 people, plenty of effort, and considerable patience. Farmers and property owners depended on these augers for maintaining land boundaries and livestock enclosures. During the 60s, they remained a familiar sight on farms throughout the country. Eventually, motorized augers arrived and transformed the task, completing in minutes what once took hours. Even so, many Americans still remember long afternoons spent digging holes under the summer sun. The finished fence represented more than property lines. It reflected determination, teamwork, and hard-earned accomplishment. The hand rivet gun became a staple of post-war American do-it-yourself culture. Simple, rugged, and remarkably effective, it allowed homeowners to join sheets of metal without welding or specialized equipment. During the 1960s, rivet guns were commonly used for household repairs, automotive projects, and workshop creations. Their straightforward design made them accessible even to beginners. Pull the handle, set the rivet, and a strong permanent connection was created.
Then you just keep squeezing the riveter, and eventually it'll pop like that. You'll now see that the 2 materials are attached together.
As new fastening systems, adhesives, and advanced construction methods gained popularity, the humble rivet gun lost some of its prominence. Yet, it never completely disappeared. Hobbyists, aircraft enthusiasts, and restoration experts still rely on it today. Many appreciate the tool's reliability and durability. It represents a period when Americans were encouraged to build, repair, and improve things with their own hands. Long before electric motors entered the workshop, craftsmen depended on the hand auger drill. The design had existed for generations and remained useful well into the 1960s. Using a T-shaped handle and a spiral cutting bit, the tool created deep, clean holes with remarkable precision. Cabinet makers and fine woodworkers especially valued its ability to remove material smoothly without damaging surrounding wood. Although slower than powered alternatives, the hand auger often delivered cleaner results.
This is a huge hole I made just using this thing.
As electric drills became faster, cheaper, and more convenient, most homeowners abandoned manual versions. Professional craftsmen, however, continued to appreciate their accuracy. Even today, many traditional woodworkers keep one within reach. The tool serves as a reminder that speed is not always the most important measure of quality, especially when craftsmanship is the goal. Precision holes defined skilled craftsmanship. In living rooms across America, another tool was preparing something far more personal. Before videotapes entered American living rooms, family memories often arrived on 8mm film reels. After filming vacations, birthday parties, holidays, and backyard adventures, those reels needed to be carefully rewound before storage or projection. That job belonged to the film reel rewinder.
In rewinding this Super 8 film, I'm holding my 3 fingers lightly on top of the reel, and I can get a good, nice...
Usually mounted on a small tabletop base, it allowed users to smoothly transfer film from one reel to another while inspecting it for damage. During the 50s and 60s, many households owned a set alongside their movie projector. Family movie nights often began with someone preparing the reels for viewing. As VHS camcorders and videotapes became popular in the late 70s and 80s, film equipment quickly disappeared. Still, many Americans fondly remember watching treasured family moments flicker across a screen in a darkened room. The 8mm film splicer turned ordinary families into amateur movie editors. This small but essential device allowed users to cut damaged film, remove unwanted scenes, and join separate strips together. During the home movie boom of the 50s and 60s, many fathers spent evenings carefully editing vacation footage and family celebrations. The process required patience, steady hands, and attention to detail.
First, we are going to start with making cut of our Super 8mm movie.
Unlike today's instant digital editing, every cut was permanent. The growing popularity of amateur filmmaking made film splicers common accessories for home projectors. Then, camcorders and videotapes arrived, eliminating the need for cutting and gluing film strips by hand.
When you aim the revolutionary Sanyo Zima camcorder with fuzzy logic, the result is also perfect. Perfect focus, perfect exposure.
Digital media later completed the transition. Even so, these tools represent a fascinating period when personal storytelling required mechanical skill and creativity rather than computer software. Although modern refrigeration was widespread by the 1960s, ice saws and ice tongs had not completely vanished from American life. In some rural regions and older businesses, large blocks of ice still needed to be harvested, moved, and delivered. Ice saws cut the blocks, while heavy tongs provided a secure grip for lifting them. The tools trace their origins to an industry that once supplied cooling before electric refrigerators became common. Their use demanded strength, skill, and caution.
Was the power behind most refrigeration devices before the 1930s. It is an ice saw. This one in particular came from the Earth Tie Cam.
As refrigeration technology improved and became more affordable, the need for harvested ice disappeared almost entirely. Today, these tools seem almost unimaginable to younger generations. Yet they offer a vivid glimpse into a world where keeping food cold required hard physical labor rather than simply plugging in an appliance. When typewriters occupied desks across America, skilled maintenance was often necessary to keep them working properly. A typewriter repair kit contained specialized tools for adjusting keys, aligning type bars, replacing springs, and solving countless mechanical issues. During the 60s, typewriter ownership reached extraordinary levels in homes, schools, and offices. Rather than replacing a malfunctioning machine, owners frequently repaired it.
Dwayne here, PhoenixTypewriter.com. Show and tell on the IBM toolkit, typewriter toolkit, let's say. So I bought this aluminum kit a while back.
Many repair technicians built successful careers servicing these complex devices. The rise of personal computers during the 80s and 90s dramatically reduced demand for such skills. As typewriters disappeared, so did many of the tools designed to maintain them. Looking inside one of these repair kits today reveals remarkable mechanical ingenuity. Every tool served a specific purpose in keeping one of the 20th century's most important machines functioning smoothly. Long before electric bench grinders became workshop standards, the hand-powered grinding wheel handled countless sharpening jobs. Mounted on a frame and turned by a crank, the spinning stone restored edges on knives, axes, chisels, and farm tools. During the 60s, many farms and workshops still kept one nearby because sharp tools made work safer and more efficient.
I've been looking for one for a while, a little hand grinder, and the ones that I've been finding were kind of...
The design required no electricity and could operate almost anywhere. Experienced users developed a rhythm that kept the wheel spinning smoothly while maintaining precise control. As electric grinders became faster, cheaper, and more convenient, hand-powered versions gradually disappeared. Yet many Americans still remember the distinctive sight of sparks flying from steel as the stone turned. It was a simple tool that transformed dull metal into something useful once again. Neatly trimmed hedges became a symbol of suburban pride during the post-war housing boom, and manual hedge shears played a major role in creating that look. These long-handled cutting tools allowed homeowners to shape shrubs and hedges with impressive precision. Throughout the 60s, maintaining an attractive yard was often seen as part of responsible homeownership.
Manual hedge shears, and you saw us in our previous video that I mentioned earlier in the intro that we actually sharpen these, and so here are the hedge shears, and they're hand operated.
Unlike modern powered trimmers, hedge shears required physical effort and patience. Each cut was deliberate, giving users complete control over the final appearance. As electric and gasoline-powered trimmers became widely available, many homeowners embraced the faster option. Even so, some gardeners continued to prefer manual shears for detailed work. The tool created a direct connection between people and their landscapes, turning routine yard maintenance into a surprisingly satisfying craft. For generations of Americans, preparing firewood meant reaching for a buck saw. Its simple frame held a long blade under tension, creating a lightweight and dependable tool capable of cutting logs with surprising efficiency. During the 1960s, buck saws remained common in rural communities, hunting camps, and family cabins.
This is a saw that we make ourselves, and it's a really old-fashioned tool. Interesting thing about a buck saw is that it's got a wooden frame.
They required no fuel, little maintenance, and could be carried almost anywhere. Many campers relied on them to gather firewood, while farmers used them for everyday tasks around the property. The arrival of affordable chainsaws dramatically reduced their popularity by making wood cutting faster and less physically demanding. Yet many older Americans still remember the distinctive sound of steel teeth biting through timber, followed by the satisfying crack of a freshly cut log. Before modern engines became sealed, computerized systems, many Americans performed major engine maintenance right in their own garages. A valve grinding kit was one of the tools that made this possible.
Begin by removing the valves from the head and take the chance to remove any carbon deposits with a brass wire brush. Whether the valve seats require a regrind.
Used to restore proper sealing between engine valves and valve seats, the process helped maintain performance, fuel efficiency, and reliability. During the 60s, hobby mechanics often considered valve grinding a routine skill. Weekend engine rebuilds were common, and automotive knowledge was a source of pride. As engines grew more complex and specialized equipment became necessary, fewer people attempted such repairs at home. Today's vehicles rarely invite that level of hands-on involvement.
Today, we're going to talk about lapping. Not lapping like you're swimming laps in a pool, not that kind of lapping. Not lapping like you're in a circle track race.
As a result, valve grinding has become something of a lost art, remembered by those who enjoyed understanding every part of an engine. Engines once invited hands-on rebuilding and careful adjustment. That same mindset extended beyond machines and into everyday clothing and repair. There was a time when worn shoes were repaired, not discarded. During the 1960s, many American households owned shoe repair kits containing nails, leather patches, stitching tools, and replacement soles. Some families even passed basic cobbler skills from one generation to the next. Repairing footwear was often more economical than purchasing a new pair.
But unfortunately, shoe repair is a dying craft because there are very few people who are willing to go into the business.
Especially for work boots that had already been broken in comfortably. As mass production expanded and inexpensive shoes became widely available, repairing them made less financial sense. Gradually, replacement replaced restoration. Looking back, these kits represent more than a practical tool set. They reflect a culture of thrift, self-reliance, and resourcefulness. Americans often fixed what they owned because that was simply the sensible thing to do. Long before digital printers and computer files transformed construction, blueprint kits were essential tools for architects, engineers, and contractors. These systems used an ammonia-based process to reproduce detailed drawings quickly and accurately. During the 1960s, Construction projects of every size depended on blueprints that could be shared among workers and project managers. The process created the distinctive blue and white documents that became synonymous with planning and design.
When choosing between touchscreen versus stylus, track wheel versus keypad, even slab phone versus flip phone was no choice at all.
It also produced a unique chemical smell that many professionals still remember instantly. As photocopiers, computer-aided design, and modern printers became widespread, blueprint reproduction methods gradually disappeared. Yet the visual appearance of those classic plans remains iconic. They represent an era when every building, bridge, and home began as carefully drafted lines transferred through a fascinating chemical process. In an age when Americans placed enormous value on making things last, tire retreading kits offered a practical way to extend the life of worn tires. The process involved replacing worn tread surfaces rather than discarding the entire tire. During periods of higher costs and economic caution,
retreading of tires here at Gibson Tire. So you can bring your tire in, and if there's no bad problems on the sidewalls,
retreading became an attractive option for many drivers and businesses. Some motorists viewed it as common-sense maintenance that saved money while reducing waste. As tire manufacturing improved and replacement tires became more affordable, retreading lost much of its appeal. Safety standards and changing consumer habits also contributed to its decline. Today, the practice survives mostly in commercial transportation. Looking back, tire retreading reflects the resourceful mindset of earlier generations, who often focused on repairing and renewing rather than replacing. Few objects were smaller yet more important than the mechanical winding key. Throughout much of the 20th century, countless clocks, watches, music boxes, and household devices depended on regular winding to keep operating. For many families, turning a key each day or each week was simply part of the routine.
One for the time side and one for the strike side. So there's a winding crank that comes with this clock. I place a winding crank into one of the winding holes.
Keys hung on hooks, rested in kitchen drawers, or stayed tucked safely in pockets. Their disappearance happened gradually as electric motors, batteries, and quartz movements took over. By the end of the century, many younger Americans had never needed to wind anything at all. Yet older generations remember the ritual clearly. These tiny tools played an outsized role in everyday life, quietly keeping households running through simple mechanical power and human attention. Even in the 1960s, the scythe still survived in parts of rural America where tradition and practicality often went hand in hand. With its long curved blade and sweeping motion, the tool was used to cut hay, tall grass, and weeds. Mastering a scythe required rhythm, balance, and technique.
Starting with the design, it doesn't get quirkier than that. Nokia's designers went wild with this. From the unsymmetrical shape, to the flowing keypad design, to the design patch.
Skilled users could clear impressive areas with smooth, efficient movements. For centuries, it had been one of humanity's most important agricultural tools. Mechanized farming equipment eventually made manual cutting far less common, replacing muscle power with engines and machinery. Even so, the scythe remains one of the most recognizable symbols of agricultural labor. It reminds us of a time when harvesting depended directly on human effort, endurance, and carefully learned skill. Perhaps no tool better captures the spirit of old-fashioned American work than the two-man crosscut saw. Used extensively in logging, farming, and land clearing, it required two people working in perfect rhythm to cut through massive trees. Success depended on coordination, communication, and physical endurance. A single person could not simply power through the task alone. Throughout the first half of the 20th century, these saws helped shape farms, towns, and industries across the country. Then, chainsaws arrived and transformed wood cutting forever, completing in minutes what once demanded hours of effort. Yet the crosscut saw remains deeply symbolic. It represents cooperation, determination, and a hands-on way of life. More than just a tool, it reflected a time when hard work was often shared, not automated.